Hi everybody, welcome to episode 4 of Halo.
This week, we have asked the contestants to come up with fantasy looks in pairs.
I'm your host and Judge Hank.
And I'm your other host and Judge Milo. Today, we are joined by our guests.
Hi, I'm Finn. I'm so happy to be here.
The winner of this season of Halo will receive a prize package from Shopee That Beauty and $50 and 2 palettes courtesy of Fruits Cosmetics.
Now, the reason why I paired everybody up, this is where my strategy came in. I think in terms of like overall makeup talent, like who has the most potential in this competition, I'm at the top. And then the next one down is Ozzy. So I put myself with Ozzy because next best one. Like, okay, yeah, we're obviously gonna win the challenge if it's me and fucking Ozzy. And then I was like, okay, well, who's the next best one? Seth. And who's the worst one? Chanel. Oh, I paired Seth and Chanel together because I thought Chanel's been complaining about how much she hates herself in this competition. So I was like, okay, it looks like I'm being nice. It looks like I'm throwing Chanel a bone when really I'm just trying to drag Seth down. Because Seth has been so bitter about like everything that's happened in this competition, and he literally thinks he's the feckin' dog's bollocks and deserves to win every single challenge. He's just not. So I'm like, okay, let me humble you by giving you this feckin' ball and chain to like drag you down to the bottom of the sea. Because honestly, he needs it. And then Cohen, when we first started the competition, was messaging me over and over again. And he was complaining about Nick. And he was going, oh, Nick is like so annoying. Blah, blah, blah. Nick is just like pissing me the fuck off. And I was like, okay, so he hates Nick. And then I don't remember what Nick said. But I remember at one point in time, Nick expressed distaste. I just farted. Nick expressed distaste for Cohen in some way. I remember him saying it, but I don't remember what he said. I'll probably look like something else or something. But I was like, okay, so Nick and Cohen don't like each other. So if I put them together, maybe they'll like rip each other to shreds and they'll hate each other and blah. So I was like, okay, so let me put myself with the best one. And then let me put the next best one with the shittest one. And then let me put the two that hate each other together. And then I've got the perfect recipe for me to take home another win alongside my beautiful partner, Ozzy.
So this week's theme is team/fantasy, and I could not be more excited. I love fantasy. It's one of my favorite genres. I love watching fantasy movies. And I just love the idea of fairies, gnomes, elves, forests. Just that overall like fantasy vibe is just so fun. And there's so much potential. I think you can really do a lot with it.
Last week was the Decades Challenge. I feel like I improved a lot. I feel like I'm getting better and better every week, and I'm really excited to see how I end up. I did something more creative than I usually do with the robot nature look, and I really liked it. I'm okay with how last week's rankings turned out. Thomas definitely deserved to win. I think Seth and Cohen both had really good looks too, so it could have ended up. However, it just take into consideration the different technique, creativity, and relevancy scores. But I feel like everybody had a really good look last week. I wasn't too fond of Nick's look, and I feel like Nick is a little delusional.
Not the biggest fan of this week's challenge. However, personally, I thought I turned it. I could be delusional.
Like, I love Nick or whatever, but he really holds himself to a really high standard and thinks that he's a little better than he is. No shade. Because he was talking to all of us about his 30s look and talking about how good it was. And in my opinion, it just wasn't good.
The other people's looks. Let's start with Seth's. Seth's was really well done. It was good. The thing is, it's very similar to the 30s. He just did a green eyeshadow and he didn't paint his face a different color. But his look was really good. I did the same thing as Seth with a little bit of Juno Birch inspired just because I put in some white dots and I made it a little more comical, a little more campy. Seth's was realistic. It was very real. Like, he edited himself into a bar, which I thought was sick. The one that I really didn't like this week, and I don't know. The one I really didn't like this week was Cohen's. His editing was really cool. He made a magazine But the magazine, it's not a Photoshop contest. That's the thing. Like, if you look at the makeup, it's just a simple rainbow eye look. It's not a whole get-up. Basic. Whatever. Okay, so you know who really surprised? Chanel surprised me so much. And then she messed it up with the editing. The look, killer. The editing, so much going on. She has like this light show in the background. The fuck is that? What? Why?
He literally wore like men's glasses with a classical 30s look, and I feel like he was trying too hard and thought it was better than it was. So, I don't know. I feel like if George would have turned in his look, that Nick would have gone home. So I feel like Nick got a little lucky, but I don't know. This week is the Duos Challenge, and I'm so excited because Thomas was trying to be shady and gave Seth me, thinking that he was gonna make Seth look bad or make me look bad. So I feel like we're gonna turn it out this week because everybody's expecting us to fail because Seth is a really creative makeup artist and I do more just glam. So I feel like he was really trying to sabotage us, but we're gonna come out this week with something creative and that not everybody's going to expect. Since our theme is fantasy, I feel like everybody's going to do like an elf or a fairy or something. I think it's a little too safe for fantasy, so this week we're doing Dory and Nemo Sirens, and I'm really excited. Seth is helping me out a lot and letting me know everything that I need to do just so everything runs smoothly for us, and I'm really excited.
For this challenge, I'm paired with Nick, and I'm actually really excited. He has a win under his belt, but also he was in the bottom last week, so I'm hoping that we can both redeem ourselves with this look. We can both kind of work off each other's ideas because I think he's an amazing makeup artist. I think the strongest team this week is definitely going to be Chanel and Seth. Seth has really good ideas, and for fantasy, I think he's going to do a really good job. I'm a little worried about Chanel because she has kind of been in the bottom these past few weeks, but she is working her way up, which I think is amazing. You can definitely see her starting to get more creative, and I'm really excited to see what they do this week.
George really said, I am done with this. He did not turn in a look, and we all went, so, bye George. It's been good, I guess. One other bitch gone, so it's fine with me.
I'm a little nervous for Ozzy because their styles are totally different than Thomas's. So I feel like they're gonna struggle trying to have a cohesive look because they're not similar at all with how they do their makeup or their personal aesthetics or anything. So I'm really interested to see how those two turn out. And I'm not nervous for Cohen and Nick's look. I'm just nervous for their partners because I've heard that Nick doesn't really like to listen to his partner. I heard that he likes to do things his own way. So we'll see how that turns out.
I was top 2 again, which is great, but I didn't win. That's a little disappointing. I really thought I had this challenge and really thought I could win, but I don't know what the judges saw that I didn't see or anything like that. Thomas ended up taking the win this week, which I'm just sad I didn't win. I really wanted to win. I thought I could have won. Cohen. But since Thomas won, he got to choose the teams, and he paired me with Chanel, which I'm not gonna lie, I wish I would have been paired with Cohen. So I was a little bit disappointed by that, but either way, I'm gonna turn it out this week. I could have been paired with like anyone, and I would have made sure that we would have been good, and I would have been on their ass to turn it out, because I'm tired of being top 2. My track record has been top 2, top 3, top 2, and I want a win. So my idea and execution is to do mermaids. That's like the most fantasy thing you can do, and I think that it's a good idea that me and Chanel can both execute like very cohesively, and also something I can edit and make very like gorgeous and pretty and like ocean-like and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to do mermaids based off like actual fish, And so I was like, okay, what two fish are like a duo that are kind of iconic? Nemo and Dory. So this week, me and Chanel are going to be doing mermaids based off the clownfish for me, and Chanel is going to be doing a mermaid look based off the blue tang fish. I think this is a really creative idea, and I think we are really going to stand out amongst the other contestants for my editing, our makeup style, and the creativity. Me and Chanel better win, because the placements this week I think are going to be win, safe, or eliminated. And if I do not win, like,
death to all of them.
This week, we have asked the contestants to come up with fantasy looks in pairs.
I'm your host and Judge Hank.
And I'm your other host and Judge Milo. Today, we are joined by our guests,
Hi, I'm Finn. I'm so happy to be here.
So first up, we have
Chanel and Seth.
I think they both look amazing. The lighting, the editing, everything's perfect. I love how they both did, like, I think it's paper, but like the paper fins and gills look really cute.
Mhm.
It's giving Finding Dory, Finding Nemo. I really appreciate the dedication to the costumes with the fishnet a little bit on the Finding Nemo one.
Seth's makeup, it's more like a fish makeup look, but Chanel, she's just blue. So I wish she incorporated some type of like fish pattern into her foundation.
I think it would have been helpful for them to call while they were doing their makeup, just to make sure that it was a little bit more cohesive. Like I said previously, I do like that they both have the paper fins because that kind of ties them together. But I do think I enjoy Seth's makeup a little bit more than Chanel's, and I wish Chanel kind of mirrored what Seth was doing.
I do like that they did complementary colors. I think that was smart.
The editing is beautiful, and even though it looks like they didn't call during their makeup, they definitely look cohesive in the editing.
Mostly, I do see improvement with both of them, especially Chanel.
100%.
Since episode 1, she has improved, and I think she's taking the critiques into consideration with her new looks.
I love it, and I love how they cut out all the little fish fins and really just went for it.
For creativity,
I think it's a very creative concept, but because it's Finding Nemo-esque, I'd give it a 8.
I like that they didn't just do like, they could have just done like mermaids, and I'm happy they're fish.
For sure.
Me too. I like that it's a different take on a mermaid. And then overall technique, which we take into account the editing.
Makeup's a bit rough, especially on their body. You can tell Chanel didn't actually paint her arms blue. She just used like the hue switch. There's like bits where she did not cover with the editing, like around her fingertips. It's still skin color. And I feel like with the rocks and stuff too, like you can see they missed the bits. Like there's some bits of wall next to their arm that they did not cut out. I'd say so.
I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, the makeup's cute. The technique on the makeup's really great. There's just some minor technical errors with the editing.
How it relates, it's definitely giving Mermaid Fantasy take on Mermaid Fantasy their own creative take on it.
They worked really well together. Like they look like they're from the same planet.
Yeah.
Look like they're together. I'd give it like a 9. I think it's pretty.
Yeah, I would too.
Next up, we have Cohen and Nick.
They told me that they were supposed to be like elves, like crystal elves.
Now that I know it's supposed to be a crystal elf, I can see it.
Listen, their like makeup body cover, it's flawless. But like, do I see a concept that they like really mesh together on?
I wish that either they would have both gone with something like a white, like kind of fabric, or they both did like the velvet.
I wish that because like they're portraying crystals, obviously they had brought like gems into the eyes or crystallization into the makeup technique.
Yes.
But it's just like a smoky eye.
Yeah, 100%. Like this would be time to go like euphoria, gems, crystals everywhere. I think they should have carried the crystals and maybe made them a little bit bigger just so that they translated more on camera. So small and they're like so easy to miss. I get the idea kind of, but I think it could have been
I don't.
Oh my god.
I don't either.
I guess.
Okay, I guess I do.
They said they were going for crystal elves, but I don't know if it's translated properly.
6.
Okay, yeah, a 6. I mean I agree.
Yeah.
It's not the most creative because it is elf and something, But I think it's, you know, it's a cool idea.
I feel like elves, it's a safe.
cool idea if they just pushed it.
Yeah. I agree with you, Milo. Elf is a little bit of a safe.
Yeah, Hank.
Okay, technique.
I would say maybe a 4.
I know that it's really hard to get crystals to stick to you.
That's true.
So I will give them props for that. Yeah, let's give it a 4. How it relates, fantasy, I mean, gems, sure, yeah, elves.
I just wish they would have, like, part of the challenge that we asked them to do was to kind of look at it's how well that they incorporate each other. And I feel like, to me, my eyes go straight to Cohen.
I don't know who did the edit, but they gave Cohen like a orangey, pinky, salmon like aura around, and then they didn't do that to Nick at all. And then also Nick is already a darker color, so it's already gonna be harder to see Nick. And then they put Nick in like the background too,
which is purple.
The purple background of the same exact color.
Yeah, so I just wish the edit was maybe a little bit more thought through. Yeah.
So for relevance,
a 6, because it's giving fantasy and they're together, but it's just not
fantasy elves in the cave, in the gem cave.
And last but not least, we have Ozzy and Thomas.
Thomas won last week, so Thomas chose Ozzy and got to assign the groups.
I think it's executed really well. The editing, like, is perfect. They look like they're together. It's just, I don't know if it necessarily like fits what we were.
And I wish it wasn't a black background.
Oh, I don't mind that at all.
I mean, it would have been cool to have like a tree in the background or something.
Or a forest or something, yeah.
To give us a little more context. For creativity, I would say a 7. So the apple is very dark.
Yeah, I wish the apple was maybe a little bit less hidden behind.
So that's why I didn't get it right away that it was Adam and Eve, because I couldn't see the apple right away.
Okay, and then technique. I think technically both of their looks are pretty well done and the editing is really clean.
I'd say an 8.
I'd say an 8.
Okay, yeah, 8. Because there are some things that could have been tweaked to maybe make it a little bit better, but I think it was done really well.
For relevance?
This is where I have a little bit of a
Me too.
It's not, when you look at it, you're not thinking like fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons, Goblin, like.
I'm surprised no one went with like any dragon or fairy kind of thing.
I think the look is good. It's just not giving fantasy. When you look at it, you don't think fantasy. It looks just more biblical, I think.
I think I would give it a 5 or 6.
Maybe a 5, because it's not fantasy. And the challenge with fantasy, they got half of it. They got because it's out of 10, they got the half to the 5 where they're edited together. It looks cute. The technique is good, but it's not.
Especially since Thomas got to pick their teammate, I feel like they should have been able to have they had like nothing. They had nothing holding them back at all.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now we're gonna announce how each group did.
Congratulations to Seth and Chanel, who have both won this week with an average score of 8.
In second place is Thomas and Ozzy with an average score of 6.6.
Losing group of this week is Cohen and Seth with an average score of 5.3. This week, we've decided to eliminate Cohen
and Nick. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And follow us on Halo at Halo__competition for all the behind the scenes tea. Ew, not the behind the scenes tea. Where can we find you, Finn?
Oh yeah, please tell the people.
You can find me on Instagram at FinnLevi_.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
Thank you so much for watching. It'd be good if I just start screaming.
Like, was that good?
What the hell was that?
Their looks are so frightening and spookalicious. I like start taking off my wig.